Hello and welcome to Nationwide on NTA, Africa's largest network. We thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. In the quest for a sustainable platform for global industry players to come to Africa for the interest of the oil and gas industry, the maiden edition of the International Petroleum Summit is holding in Abuja with special attention on how to run around the sector to promote development in the continent. In his speech to the opening ceremony, President Muhammadu Buhari says the summit will represent Nigeria's contribution to the industry, highlight available investment opportunities, and attract new investors into the region for oil and gas.
This summit platform will afford Nigeria a unique opportunity to showcase to the international community the policy direction and efforts of government in the petroleum sector, especially the new oil and gas exploration frontiers and markets, new measures to sanitize the sector, the expansion of investment opportunities to boost investors' confidence, technological advancement, Nigerian content development, the institutionalization of reforms in the country's oil and gas industry, and the galvanization of Nigeria's position as the leading oil producer in Africa.
Oil has got to provide work for our people. Oil has got to provide the resource to power this country. Oil has got to provide the operational environment that is transparent enough for others to take Nigeria serious. Oil has got to provide the technical and human skill set that is essential for us to export people out into other African countries and to become major investors in other African countries, something the banking sector has tried to do successfully over the last 6 to 7 years.
It gladdens our hearts that we have indeed commenced what we envision to be Africa's vision of the likes of the Offshore Technology Conference held annually in Houston and the Abu Dhabi International Petroleum Exhibition and Conference held annually in Abu Dhabi, UAE.
On the economy, Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun has called for the designation of tax malpractices by multinationals, corporations in Nigeria and other developing countries as foreign corrupt practices. She made the call at the platform for collaboration on tax at the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development Conference in New York. In a statement, the minister explained that Nigeria is doubly affected by illicit financial flows as a result of corruption and tax evasion. She requested global organizations such as World Bank, OEA, International Monetary Fund, IMF, and United Nations to see the tax avoidance action of multinational companies as corrupt practice. On the wider issue of illicit financial flows, Mrs. Adeosun emphasized that Nigeria, under President Muhammadu Buhari, is taking strong action and is determined to reverse their impact. The government, according to Adeosun, is taking a number of measures internally and also taking full advantage of international initiative to tackle the problem. And the federal government of Nigeria has expressed its commitment to offer opportunities to young entrepreneurs to grow small and medium-scale businesses and industries across the country. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo stated this in Lokoja while inaugurating the medium and small-scale business training. Solomon Ayindehin reports.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital, to inaugurate the medium and large-scale business training program geared towards promoting young entrepreneurs under the social investment program of the federal government. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo hinted that President Muhammadu Buhari's administration has so far expended close to 500 billion naira on the program, with thousands of Kogi youths benefiting.
The reason why we set up the MSME clinics, why we set up social investment, the social investment program, is because we care about the young people, we care about the traders, we care about the market women, we care about the widows, we care about the physically challenged, we care about all of those who have been ignored in the past. We don't need to know anybody to benefit from any of the programs that President Buhari has established through his government.
While urging the young entrepreneurs to make good use of the opportunity offered by the training, the Vice President assured of the determination of the federal government to ease registration process of their businesses. Kogi State Governor Alhaji Aya Bello lauded the efforts of the federal government on youth empowerment, promising his administration's commitment to complement the effort of Buhari's administration. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
And in Abuja, the federal government is resolved to encourage youths to achieve their full potential in the deployment of science, technology, and innovation to drive the nation's efforts to promote economic growth and diversification. Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, affirmed this during the 2018 National Final Examination of the 774 Young Nigerian Scientists Presidential Award held at the Ministry in Abuja. Justin Bemunyi has that.
The program is to allow us as a nation build foundations that will stand for science and technology of the future by going through all the government areas to pick at least one student that can represent science and technology at that level.
The 774 Young Nigerian Scientists Presidential Award is an initiative of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology aimed at effectively encouraging and developing the interest of Nigerian youths in science, technology, and innovation. The minister is confident that this group of Nigerian future scientists, engineers, and allied professionals will make the nation proud in the future, as he believes the seed being sown today will tomorrow enable Nigeria stimulate greater interest among the young ones to accept science, technology, and innovation as a way of life.
As young boys and girls who have shown such amazing promise in science and technology, you must not let your dream die, because it is in that dream that a new Nigeria can be born. You can surpass the achievements of our forefathers and become great men and women of distinction.
This is the second year of the initiative. Those that will excel at the end of the examination will be presented to the President for recognition on March 5th this year during the forthcoming Technology and Innovation Expo scheduled to hold in Abuja. Participants at the event cut across all senior secondary schools in the 774 local government areas of the Federation. In Abuja, Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has reaffirmed the federal government's determination to ensure that the tourism industry is developed to generate substantial revenue that will support the nation's economic development base as obtainable in other parts of the world where tourism has been used to drive their economy. The minister said that this while addressing newsmen shortly after signing the 2018 hosting agreement for the UNWTO African Commission meeting scheduled for Abuja. Anthony Forsen reports.
The Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed opened his address with a call on Nigerians to discountenance the fake news being peddled on the social media, as Nigeria, he said, is making steady progress in revamping the economy, tackling insecurity and fighting corruption, the three cardinal programs of the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration.
Please, I want you to put your mind at rest. There is no war in Nigeria. There is no ethnic battle or war in Nigeria. There is no religious conflict in Nigeria. People might decide for their own very personal motives, for their own very personal agenda, try to ethnicize or bring religion into what is happening. Don't be surprised that the naysayers, those who don't want Nigeria to develop, have invested millions of naira in promoting instability, in promoting ethnic rivalry, in promoting misunderstanding. Nigeria, where everybody, irrespective of where they come from, live together in harmony.
He added that the administration's achievements should be evaluated against the background of the challenges that it had to contend with since it came into office on the 29th of May 2015.
We'll tell you the way it is. We're not saying there are no problems in Nigeria. There's no country that has no problems, including Spain here. It's important for all of us to know what Nigeria was 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, for us to know exactly, where we are today. You see, if you don't know what we inherited in Nigeria in 2015 and put it in the context, you will not be able to appreciate what the government of the day is doing.
The minister also reeled out the administration's success story across the various sectors where inroads have been made on how Nigerians in the diaspora can access authentic information about the country. He urged them to download the FGNI app for an up-to-date news back home. The town hall meeting was led by the Nigerian ambassador to Spain, Susan Aderonke Folari. In Madrid, Spain, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki said the National Assembly is committed to enacting laws that will change the deplorable state of the country's prisons. Saraki said this while declaring open a one-day public hearing on 4 bills to repeal Prisons Acts that have existed since 1942. National Assembly correspondent Rabi Musa reports.
The public hearing was organized by the Senate Committee on Interior. The bills are the Prisons Act 29 of 2004, Prisons Bill 2016-288, a bill to reenact the Prisons Act 1 and the Correction Rehabilitation Reintegration Center Bill 2018 SB 308. The Senate President, represented by Leader of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, said it is unacceptable that over 70,000 prisoners, with 80% of them awaiting trial, are cramped in the various prisons across the country.
The current state of disrepair, decay of infrastructure, intra-institutional culture, and worrying outcomes we all witness today from our prison service have made reform of the institutional, regulatory, and legal structures imperative.
Prison reform is necessary to ensure that this principle is respected, the human rights of prisoners protected.
While the Ministry of Interior welcomes the bills, it observes that the powers of the minister has not been mentioned in any of the bills. The Comptroller General of Prisons said any improvement is welcomed.
Section 35. Minister is defined as minister charged with the responsibility of the prisons.
We are happy that our law is being considered after almost 40 years of existence. In every prison, especially in the open centers, we have a female wing, which is a clearly demarcated area, and it is handled by only the female officers.
The committee had inputs from non-governmental organizations, Federal Justice Sector Reforms Coordinating Committee, and the Presidential Committee on Prison Reforms and Decongestion. The prison bills were sponsored by Senator Oluremi Tinubu, Shaba Lafiaji, Babajide Omowarare, and Senator Albert Bassi. Rabi Musa, NTA News.
The second stage of the federal government's fast-tracked trial of Boko Haram suspects has been concluded, with the Federal High Court sitting in New Busa ordering the release of 475 suspects for lack of evidence linking them to any terrorist act. 200 others were, however, sentenced to various terms of imprisonment. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okeowo has that.
The first batch of the special trials started in October 2017, during which 50 convictions were secured and 200 discharged. The whole idea behind these fast-tracked trials came up after the federal government established a joint investigation team, JIT, in 2013 to profile and screen all the arrested Boko Haram terrorist suspects and see if any prima facie case can be established against all of the arrested suspects. The Joint Investigation Team is made up of representatives of the Defense Headquarters, Defense Intelligence Agency, the DSS, Office of the National Security Advisor, Directorate of Legal Services of the Defense Headquarters, and the Federal Ministry of Justice, who are largely the prosecutors. So far, 475 suspects have been discharged at the last trial. It means no prima facie case has been established against them to warrant charges being brought against them in court.
We also have to enjoy the public, that to be wary of what people say. People will be sensitized in the way so that we will not be hoodwinked to accepting that the terrorism is just a farce, but it's really a reality.
In all the judgments, whether convictions or discharge, the 4 federal high court judges that presided ordered for the de-radicalization and rehabilitation of the suspects. This brings into focus the call by some of the prosecutors, the need to separate the hardened suspects from the repentant ones at the detention centers. The Operation Safe Corridor and the Rehabilitation Center in Gombe will also come in handy in this regard. Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
More on security. In his bid to boost troop morale, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, accompanied by some principal officers of Army headquarters and commanders, Saturday visited location in the northeast with emphasis on Sambisa Forest. The Army Chief's first port of call was Bita, where he was received by Commander Section 1, Operation Lafia Dole, Major General I.M. Yusuf, and Commander 26 Task Force, Brigadier General I.M. Obot. The Army Chief was briefed on the performance of the command, especially on Operation Deep Punch 11 and clearance of Boko Haram terrorists out of their various strongholds in Sambisa. The Chief of Army Staff commended the officers and urged them to sustain the momentum. He also interacted with the troops along with elements of Cameroonian Defense Force in the area. The Army Chief observed that with the approval of $1 million by the National Economic Council, the military will be more resistant and ambush protected. The federal government has sent a delegation to condole the people of Zurmi, Emirate of Zamfara State, over the killing of over 30 people in Birani village. Minister of Defense Mansour Mohammedan Ali, on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, delivered the message when he visited the area. Mansour Mohammedan Ali prayed to Allah to grant the deceased eternal rest and their families the fortitude to bear the loss. He urged the people to cooperate with security agencies to uncover the perpetrators of the act. You're watching Nationwide on the NTA. We now go on a break. The news continues shortly. Don't go away.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Tuesday Live this week is on several perspectives and dimensions of security challenges. It promises to be incisive, informative, and educative. Join us.
Do you say what you know for sure to be true?
Do you know that Abuja is planning to arrest all these girls wearing weave-on and human hair?
Widespread falsehood, half-truths and lies just to make yourself relevant and to feel important.
Did you read last week's paper?
No.
You read?
No, I'm not the leader for people.
That is the problem. My people suffer for lack of knowledge.
People are misled by your fabricated stories and lies.
You've killed me, so now my memorial service now go happen. Oh God. Oh God.
Unfortunately, these spinners of yarns and story people dwell among us and abuse us via our ears.
How does he get his information?
The cuckoo sends the time where me I know they get information.
Alas, tune into your rib-cracking comedy this week as we bring you the episode titled Story People.
Over and out.
Brought to you by Glow.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
NTA Television College, Jos, an affiliate of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, is organizing a 2-week course in broadcast media management techniques. The course will be facilitated by iconic media managers and administrators such as Dr. Tony O. Iradia, former DG, NTA. Date, 5th to 16th March 2018. Course fee, 100,000 naira per participant. Accommodation inclusive. Also, a 4-week course in principles and practice of marketing. We hold from 19th March to 13th April 2018. Cost fee 100,000 naira per participant. Accommodation inclusive. Venue for both courses will be the NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos. Both courses are specially designed to hone the skills of participants in the dynamic broadcast media space. The broadcast media management technique course targets participants from grade level 10 to 15 and shall deal with critical management functions that affect job performance. Principles and practice of marketing course has been packaged to help participants acquire relevant knowledge and skills in all aspects of digital marketing, public relations, market research, strategies, and management. For further inquiries, contact 0806 908 9807 070.
You're welcome back. Lagos has the next set of reports, and Ademola is our guide. Ademola, over to you.
Thank you, Lydia. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us in Lagos. 30 more data capturing machines have been deployed to Lagos State to ensure the smooth conduct of the continuous registration exercise. This was disclosed by the State Resident Electoral Commissioner Sam Olumekun during a press briefing in Lagos. Thomas Ogbetere tells us more.
The Lagos State Resident Electoral Commissioner Sam Olumekun assured the residents of Lagos State of the commitment of INEC to organizing a free, fair, and credible elections in 2019. Mr. Sam Olumekun urged those who are yet to register to take advantage of the continuous registration exercise. He, however, identified some of the challenges facing the registration process to include extortion and multiple registrations, which he described as unacceptable.
We have additional 30 new machines as we speak. In some of those registration centers, depending on the pressure mounted on us, we are using additional machines, old machines, to register people. That will be places where you have 3 or 4 machines.
Those who wish to transfer their registration to other local government area within the state or to other states were also advised to visit either INEC office or website to do so.
We have inter-transfer and we have intra-transfer. You can transfer your details from another state to Lagos. That is inter. And then the intra is you register in Surulere and you move to Etiosa.
A call was also made to all residents to help in sensitizing the public to participate fully in the process. In Lagos, Thomas Akbofure, Ogbetere, NTA News.
Youths have been charged to achieve quality education, be committed to hard work and towards the position of leadership in order to become good ambassadors of the country. This was the message delivered by the Managing Director, Nigerian Ports Authority, Hadiza Bala Usman, at an interactive session with members of the Ahmadu Bello University Alumni Association in Lagos. Abolore Ogbara reports.
Education, they say, is the bedrock of any nation. This formed part of the reasons for this gathering, as the Ahmadu Bello University alumni reunited to interact on the way forward towards reactivating a common goal for the benefit of their alma mater and the nation.
Alumni members are they are who they are today because of Ahmadu Bello University's area. So this interactive session is one of such platforms to encourage young graduates of the Ahmadu Bello University's area to ensure that they give back to the university.
Managing Director, Nigerian Ports Authority, NTA, Hadiza Bala, emphasized the need to improve the standard of education in the country.
Our children should benefit from good quality education in our country, and the responsibility is on all of us wherever we find ourselves. Some of us find ourselves in a position of leadership that we can directly contribute towards adding value to ABZ.
The Ahmadu Bello University Alumni Association Interactive Sessions. The Ahmadu Bello University Alumni Association Interactive Sessions started from the Northeast Zone of the country in February 2017 with the aim of strengthening governance, transparency, and accountability in the society. In Lagos, Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
6 books that educate children on safety, love, acceptance, and integrity and money management have been officially presented to the public. Imole Tokede reports that the books also captured essential Nigerian cultures and values.
The 6 books titled My Piggy Bank, Money Matters, God Made Us Whole, I Love My Body, Keeping Promises, and I'm Not a Bully are targeted at children. The author, Olayemi Ejemai, is an author of children books who is passionate about empowering and grooming children to be confident and responsible adults. She stated that the pictorial books carry strong messages, but in an interesting way, to make them accessible and enhance a reading culture.
The books carry concise messages, deep messages, but in a subtle way, in an interesting way, such that you pick up the book and you're not hit with the fact that, oh, I'm going to learn a lesson today. No. But by the time you involve yourself in the story, as the story expands, as you get to the end of the book, you find, oh my God, it has an underlying message, which that is the idea.
The book reviewers described the works as must-have for parents and children.
It's about acceptance, understanding the fact that we all have unique talents, unique abilities, unique purposes.
It talks about integrity generally. I think that's the key value there, amongst others.
Other participants comment.
I, for one, believe that children should be given the opportunity to develop themselves so that they do not grow up to be timid.
The books, according to the author, are crucial library collections for child development and empowerment. In Lagos, Imole Ayotokide, NTA News.
And that does it from Lagos. It's back to you, Lydia, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Many thanks, Demola. The Minister of Transportation, Chukwuka Amechi, has appeared before the Joint Committee on Land Transportation to explain the implementation of 2017 budget and prospects for 2018. National Assembly correspondent Rabi Musa reports.
Areas of concern by the Joint Committee chaired by Senator Gbenga Shafa include 68 billion naira released and not fully utilized, 10 billion naira Abuja land transport, and the 12 billion naira meant for the Lagos-Abuja project.
I want to appeal to the Honorable Minister and his team to see this budget as one that must attain maximum performance.
You still have a balance of 45 billion before you, which you are telling us that you are taking them back to the treasury and utilize.
The establishment of
of the 6 national spread, each geopolitical zone, is costing 1.8, while the other one, in one particular area, is costing higher.
Responding, the Minister of Transportation, Chibuke Amechi, assured the committee that monies released recently will be fully utilized for projects and due process will be followed in all contract procedures.
We don't pay a contractor unless he brings his IPC. We will certainly disburse that money, Lagos, Ibadan, 12 billion, and we pay.
The Land Transport Joint Committee said the Permanent Secretary should furnish it with contract sites in all the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development has also defended its 2017 budget of more than 1 billion naira before the Senate Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development. The Permanent Secretary represented the Minister at the budget defense, explaining that projects and programs were prioritized according to releases.
2017, a total of approximately 600 million naira in addition to 405 million was released.
The Senate Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development, headed by Senator Binta Masi, requested for detailed 2017 budget expenditure and shelved the 2018 budget proposal for another day.
There are areas that needed a kind of intervention that will improve the well-being of the women and the children. And now we don't put it in now. Because now if I ask now, how is this one spent?
They should go back and prioritize the last 7 projects inside this 2017.
Upgrading of library services and e-library, it's 16 million. Data design and development, which is 25 million.
The National Assembly recently directed ministries and agencies to hasten up their budget defense without delay. Rabi Musa, NTA News.
Our next set of stories are on politics. Following the National Assembly alteration of the sequence of 2019 general elections, guests on Good Morning Nigeria expressed divergent views on the amendment. They, however, emphasized the need for credible electoral process that will ensure free and fair elections. Aisha Uba Ali reports.
The National Assembly recently amended the sequence of the 2019 general elections. The amendment makes the National Assembly elections to be conducted first, while the presidential election comes last. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria, who discussed the controversy surrounding the new sequence, said the amendment is meant to enhance maximum participation of the electorate in choosing their political leaders.
Who is crying? Who is affected? Who is being hurt? INEC is not hurt because it's not their business. Their business is to conduct free and fair election. I don't think any candidate is hurt because the candidate wants free and fair election. So if the National Assembly in their wisdom, taking into consideration the existential reality of Nigeria, say, oh, let's do it in this order, I do not see anything, infraction on the Constitution or trying to usurp the power of any agency or organ, as the case may be.
President, Section 132, and Governor, Section 178, is very clear. INEC will determine and set the date. What the National Assembly is doing is indicating a sequence. We have the constitutional responsibility and right to amend laws. We're amending the Electoral Act within the ambit of our constitutional powers.
Even though the amendment seems to gain popularity, former Secretary General of Nigerian Bar Association, Mazi Afam Osigwe, described the National Assembly's action as unconstitutional.
It does not give them power to tamper with the sequence. It is a matter solely for, and for the Constitution to say it in Section 76, 178, 132, re-emphasizing it that they shall have power to fix date, shall have power to fix date, means this power is absolute and is not to be tampered by a statute.
The guests emphasized the need for adherence to the rules of law and the need for National Assembly to strengthen INEC to conduct credible elections. In Abuja, Aisha Uba Ali, NTA News.
The new progressive movement is confident that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, will conduct a free, fair and credible election in 2019. This was part of resolutions reached at the end of a special National Executive Council meeting of the party in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf has that report.
3 key issues topped the agenda of the meeting. They are the party's national convention slated for April 2018, a review of the recent Kano State local government election, which the party contested at its first outing after registration by the Independent National Electoral Commission, and strategies ahead of the Ekiti and Osun governorship election scheduled to hold this year.
We know all the problems of this country. The federal government is not enough and alone cannot change states. We have a lot to do. We are not expecting that we will do it alone. Those past leaders also have their own quota to contribute.
The national chairman of the party implored state executives to live above board through exemplary conduct, stating that the new progressive movement is poised to make the desired change in the nation's polity through active participation of the youths in politics. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Also, Nigerians have been enjoined to support the ongoing revolution of the nation's economy by the All Progressives Congress administration under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. National Chairman of APC Chief John Odigi stated this in Lokoja while addressing APC supporters at a mega rally in support of President Muhammadu Buhari in Lokoja, Kogi State. Correspondent Solomon Ayidehin has the details.
Third APC mega rally, the political gathering was organized by the leadership of the party in Kogi State to drum support for President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor Yahaya Bello ahead of future elections in the country. The rally also provided a platform for the acceptance of some defectors led by the former Okeni local government chairman and PDP chieftain Alhaji Yahaya Karaku and his team to All Progressive Congress. Receiving the defectors, the national chairman of APC, Chief John Odige Oyegun, described President Muhammadu Buhari as God sent to heal the wounds of the nation. The APC national chairman enjoined the people not to listen to rumors, but to remain steadfast in their support for the president. Governor Yahaya Bello, who described Kogi as APC state, reaffirmed the commitment of his administration to deliver the party in future elections, assuring that the party is open to more defectors. There were goodwill messages from some critical stakeholders of the party, urging President Muhammadu Buhari to contest for a second term in office. The national chairman of APC had earlier commissioned the party's new secretariat near Ganaja Junction in Lokoja. Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
Governor Okorocha marks 7 years of free education. Let's join Chiagonu in Enugu for details and more stories. Chiagonu, good to see you.
Good afternoon, Lydia, and welcome to Enugu. Enugu State Government has commenced a training workshop for over 2,000 teachers in secondary schools in the state. Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, during the opening of the workshop, to utilize the opportunity and enhance their teaching skills. Ijoma Ogweke has the details.
To enhance capacity of teachers in secondary schools in the state, Enugu State Government has commenced workshop on training of thousands of teachers across the state. Queen's Secondary School is one of the main venues, while another mega training at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. The governor, represented by his deputy, Cecilia Ezilo, while opening the workshop at the Enugu Center with the theme, Enhancing Excellence of Secondary School Teachers, emphasized the need to update the knowledge of teachers to keep them abreast of the current issues in the profession. The governor urged teachers to utilize the opportunity and upgrade themselves.
Bearing in mind the theme, so that by the end of the workshop, excellence will be enhanced.
Commissioner for Education, Professor Ucheze, and other stakeholders challenge the teachers to equip themselves with the knowledge to impart good morals and education. In Enugu, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
Enugu State is one of the benefiting states in the National Homegrown School Feeding Program of the present administration. And the program has not only increased the demand for locally produced food crops, but has created jobs for professional cooks who now make a living from the feeding program. Chinyere Okoye visited some schools and has a situation report.
Break time in schools is now a welcome reality to school children in primary 1, 2, and 3 who are given one meal daily through the National Homegrown School Feeding Program. The program is one of administration's social investment programs with a mission to feed over 3 million Nigerian children daily. For Mrs. Zipporah Ani, a retired educationist, and Mrs. Jane Odinfe, who are now cooks employed for the program, it is tasking but fulfilling.
The money giving us is not enough, and that makes the quantity of food given to the children not sizable enough. The feeding program, it helps children a lot. There are some who have not been coming to school, but because they hear about this, they start to come to school.
The children are excited about the program, especially the fact that before now, most of them never came to school with snacks, while some came to school hungry and malnourished, which often affected their ability to learn. Some school heads describe the program as commendable.
So we are appealing to the government and the governor to please extend the feeding program, the feeding to all, especially the nursery people.
Many are optimistic that government will soon increase the funding from 70 naira per meal to at least 120 naira. In Enugu, Chinyere Okoye, NTA News.
Teachers in Imo State have been rewarded with different gifts, including a brand new car by the state governor, Rochas Okorocha, in a ceremony to mark 7 years anniversary of free education in the state. Loretta Arinze-Agwem reports that the star prize of a car was won by a widow.
Arrival at the program held at the Hero Square Owerri was received by school children. He appreciated the teachers for contributing in making his dream of free education a reality, which he said has helped in the improvement of the standard of education in the state. The governor, however, announced that Ahera Technical School is now Ahera Polytechnic, National High School Arondizog, now National Zog, while that of Ebema is now Ebema College of Education. He therefore enjoined investors to come and invest in tertiary education sector of the state, promising to re-equip all the secondary school laboratories in the state.
And I've given order that all secondary schools in the state must be re-equipped with science laboratories.
The chairman on the occasion, the Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony Anwuka, represented the registrar, Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, Professor Josiah Adiboye, among others, showered encomium on the governor, whom they said has fixed Imo children and youth into the nation's education creed. High points of the event include presentation of the gift items to the 9 benefiting teachers, while a widow from Umudibia Community School, Mrs. Peace Inhejeto, smiled home with a brand new car. A check of 13.7 million naira was also presented to the 2016 overall best student of optometry from Imo State, Dr. George Ekenze, for his master's degree scholarship program in London. In Owerri, Loretta Arinze-Agwem, NTA News.
53 police personnel, 8 individuals, and 3 communities who contributed towards the success story of the Imo State Police Command have been rewarded by the State Police Commissioner, Mr. Chris Ezeke. Kingsley Ononiwu has the report.
Ezeke said he believes in dignity of labor as well as motivation, which encourages hard work.
So if you do not motivate the workforce, you motivate them, and then put them in the vision and mission you have for the organization, then the organization is moribund.
Governor Rochas Okorocha, who also received an award of the most outstanding police-friendly governor of Nigeria, added his support and motivational reward to the outstanding police personnel. Communities, individuals, including Mr. Stanley Amuchie of the Good Light Foundation, as well as some of the officers who received certificates of honor and cash reward of 20,000 naira each, and the officer who won the Policeman of the Year award, speak.
I am going to work more than I've ever worked all my life.
The luncheon and award ceremony had dignitaries from within the ranks and file of Nigeria Police, Army, and politicians in attendance in Owerri. Kinsley Onaniwu, NTA News.
Lydia, that's our package from Enugu. Thank you for coming and good afternoon.
Thank you, Chiagonu. Very interesting stories. Time now to take another break. We'll be right back.
At the end of 2017, the Buhari administration delivered a number of unprecedented achievements. Generated power has gone up to 7,000 megawatts in 2017 from 3,000 megawatts in May 2015. More than 1.6 trillion naira has been spent on infrastructure for roads, bridges, housing, dams, and railways. Nigeria moved up 24 places on the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business rankings and earned a place on the list of top 10 reformers in the world. Today, 5.2 million primary school children in 28,249 schools in 19 states are receiving a free meal daily. Our customs service recorded its highest ever revenue collection of 1 trillion naira in a single year. Our foreign exchange reserves grew by $12 billion, reaching the highest level since 2014. We added $250 million to the Sovereign Wealth Fund and officially moved out of recession.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher.
They hold us from the sea. Thank God that we came back home. They should not go there because it's not good. It's a very bad place. So they just my advice.
Even now, so if they are shooting the boat they are going to use to go Italy, let them stop it. Our country is good. Our country is a blessed country. Now I know our country is a blessed country. I know before I for not travel from Nigeria to Libya. I know how much I spent.
Let these personal experiences serve as a lesson to all who would repeat their mistakes. A word is enough for the wise.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Thanks for being there. You're welcome back. Putting an end to the incessant amendments to the Constitution as well as the enthronement of good governance were some of the issues raised at a public presentation of the book, Preamble to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. Chukwunonso Nwabueze reports that the book was authored by a senior advocate of Nigeria, Samuel Mosugu.
The 135-page book has 7 chapters. The reviewer says the book was carefully put together by the author to meet the aspirations of law students, legal practitioners, politicians, as well as to remind the reader about the much-needed issues to be discovered and discussed in the nation's most important document, the Constitution.
Whatever is happening to the 1999 Constitution, and which is ignoring the preamble to that Constitution, is, with respect, an incomplete exercise.
When the Constitution says that we, the people of Nigeria, have given ourselves this Constitution, it is actually not saying the truth.
The 79-year-old author, who taught many accomplished legal professionals, including 5 serving justices of the Supreme Court, speaks on the motivation behind the work.
What prompted me is that I see there is dearth or emptiness about commentary on the preamble.
When we were in the university, he was a wonderful person, a mentor, a father, selfless, down to earth. I pray the young men of these days to emulate him, because if we have people like Musugu in the profession, then we'll have no problem at all.
Many at the event advocated the full implementation of the recommendations made in the book in order to deepen democratic governance in Nigeria. In Abuja, Chukwunonso Nwabueze, NTA News.
Minister of Interior Abdulrahman Bello Dambazao has reaffirmed the Buhari administration's commitment towards creating a conducive atmosphere for security agencies to enable them discharge their duties effectively. He was speaking during the inauguration of the Kano Command headquarters of the Nigerian Immigration Service. Fatima Sanusi Karayi has details.
Until now, the Kano Command of the Nigerian Immigration Service has been operating in a temporary office complex. The Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General Abdulrahman Bello Dambazao, who was in Kano to commission the edifice, described Kano as a commercial city that has been contributing to the nation's GDP. He said provision of standard office complex in Kano will upgrade the city, which is home to people from various parts of the world.
We are not doing favor to Kano. Kano is center of trade and commerce, not only in the north, but the entire country. Kano is a source of trade, is a transit state for trade, and is a destination state for trade.
The Comptroller General of Nigerian Immigration Service, Muhammad Babandede, said between 2016 and now, the command have embarked on massive construction of command complexes and flag houses at the state commands across the nation. He said the problem of both office and residential accommodation will fade away going by the service commitment.
Immigration Service will continue to deliver service based on transparency and good governance, and will continue to contribute to the ease of doing business by ensuring that we are honest, we are transparent, we are smart, because the health, the economic development in Nigeria is also based on the way we control our borders.
The office complex was declared open for official purposes by the Minister of Interior, who earlier inspected guard of honor mounted by officers of the command. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Garai, NTA News.
Screening has commenced for the 2018 Easter pilgrimage. The Executive Secretary, Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission, NCPC, Reverend To Uja, at a strategic review meeting with pilgrimage leaders and managers of the 36 states and FCT in Abuja, urged the key players to ensure strict compliance with laid-down rules and regulations. The gathering was a strategic review meeting of the 2017 pilgrimage and to treat emerging issues for an improved 2018 pilgrimage year. Reverend To Uja encouraged the pilgrimage leaders to look ahead towards refocusing pilgrimage in the areas of leadership relationships, service by leaders, and required sacrifice for pilgrimage development.
And we're sure that if Christian leaders rise up at a moment like this, they'll provide strength and healing for our nation.
We have looked at especially the spiritual impact, because that is what we build on the most, and it has been very, very successful.
Looking at a more excellent way in which when we go there, we carry the flag of Nigeria. Make sure that Nigeria is well represented.
The NCPC pilgrimage bouquet for the Easter period includes pastors and traditional rulers. In Abuja, Lydia Odije Ochi for NTA News. And for stories trending on the global scene, let's join Uche Nwizu. We're sorry about that. Let's go on to sports. Nigerians react to the Flamingos.
Reactions have continued to trail the inability of Nigeria's under-17 women's team, the Flamingos, to book a spot in the 2018 under-17 Women's World Cup in Uruguay.